In this video, this is going to be a short video talking about the Ripper and Slayer abilities and how to manipulate them. When it comes to understanding this video, there's one video you need to know, is knowing how to stack these abilities. If you're familiar with it, then you don't need to watch it. There is an Affixing 1-on-1 playlist. You can look at the upper right hand corner or in the description. So you might not be familiar with these Ripper and Slayer abilities. When it comes to these abilities, they are for a weapon. So let me talk about the Ripper ones. They are very specific and they are to a certain element. So as you can see here, Ripper weak to lightning, boost damage against enemies weak to lightning, effect is reduced as the weapon rarity increases. So if you had like a 9-star rarity, it's gonna benefit compared to using something like a 15-star weapon and putting this ability on that particular weapon. Note that once again the enemy has to be weak to lightning. And guess what, there are several different variants, which is weak to fire, weak to ice, weak to wind, weak to light, and weak to dark. Now the Slayer abilities are kind of like that, but it's geared towards specific races, specific beings, and types. So if this is focused on the element aspect, the Slayer is emphasizing on the various types of enemies you might bump into, like Darkers, or Phantasmals, or a bunch of Dragonians, or the Lumamechs. For example, let me talk about Lumamech 1. There's the Slayer Lumamech. This boosts damage against Lumamechs. Effect is reduced as the weapon rarity increases. So if you use a 15-star weapon with this ability, it's not going to give you the most out of it. If you decide to use something that's at a low rarity, then you would want to use it. Granted that you still need to manipulate that low rarity weapon so it can have good stats in a way, or it can do certain things, which means you need to extend it, you need to craft it. So when it comes to you toying with this, I was toying around with a bunch of receptors. None of these receptors actually work with it. I was toying around with certain souls. None of these souls can actually boost it. The only way for you to try to toy around with this, there are no SAFs for it as well. I tried to look in the database over here. I did not find anything with a Slayer ability. So I'm going to try to highlight it here. You can see nothing pops up when I do that. And then when I go over to the different tab over here, there are no SAFs for that Slayer ability. They have a Slayer weapon, but there's none whatsoever. None. There's no SAF for these Slayers or these Ripper abilities. It might be named differently over there, but the only way for you to toy around with this and try to get it to transfer is just stacking it. So if I want to try to get the Ripper weak to lightning one, I would want to try to get 2. 2 is going to give me 10%. 3 of them is going to give me 20%. Any more than 3 is not going to increase that chance. Yes, this is a very low percent. Very low percent. Same can be said with the Slayer ability. 1 of them is not going to do much. 2 of them is going to give me the lowest. And then 3 is going to give me that. If I wait for a boost week, that's going to be add 15 to that 20%. Or if it's a 10%, it's going to be 30, 35%. Use a 40 or 30% affix booster. That's going to go to like, what is it, 60, 70, or yeah, 60 or 70. Or if it's like 15%, it's going to be, what, 60, 70, it's going to be like 65 and then maybe 75. But yeah, it's, this one's a weird one. And that's pretty much how you can toy around with this. Once again, there's no pop items for this that I'm aware of. There's no SAF for it. There's no receptors that can try to get it to transfer easily. There's no... Yeah, so this one is a very niche / situational ability you will want to try to go for. There are some people, or I've seen some videos where Japanese players have used a good low rarity weapon with these specific abilities, and they do a shit ton of damage. But it's very niche and you need to gamble. So if you're not going to go down that path, that is entirely up to you. But that's pretty much it with this video talking about the Ripper and the Slayer abilities. To try to get this to transfer, you need to deal with this low percent. If you have any question, comment, concerns, put it down below. Or if you want to add on to this video about these particular abilities, you can, because I'm not a huge expert in them. All I know is that I've seen players use these certain weapons, these low rarity weapons with these specific abilities, and they can do a good chunk of work. But once again, this is very niche because this is very specific towards their element, weakness, and then that particular type. But I can see how it can work. But once again, that ultimately falls on if you want to use it and whatnot. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.